Does the prophecy of Elam in Jeremiah 49 have anything to do with the current conflict going on in Iran? Well, possibly, but let's talk about the context of Jeremiah 49 and try to build a better foundation of understanding for it. In Jeremiah chapter 49, Jeremiah is told various nations that will be the recipients of God's judgment. These are dire things that Jeremiah describes, talking about the three invasions that would fall upon Jerusalem and Judah, with the third and final invasion of Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king, destroying the temple, Solomon's temple, and razing the city of Jerusalem almost to the ground. Now, other nations around the region are also being called out for judgment from the hand of God, and through his instrument of judgment, his hammer in that day in the 6th century BC, the Neo Babylonian Empire led by Nebuchadnezzar. The prophecy talks about Elam, a nation state of power in the 6th century BC that today is the province of Khuzestan, just one province in eastern Iran that makes up the nation of Iran today. Back in Jeremiah's day, the nation of Elam was a powerful force. Its military was comprised of elite archers who were mercenaries hired out at many times by Assyrian kings and Babylonian kings in the past. And yet God is going to do business per Jeremiah 49 with that Elamite kingdom. He is going to break their bow they're so proud of as their elite archers proclaimed amongst the Mideast of their day. He is going to set his throne in Elam, likely a reference to watching over the judgment he's calling upon it from the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. He is going to disperse them to the four winds of heaven, something that happened after Nebuchadnezzar defeated them, that the Persian Empire undertook when they conquered Babylon, dispersing the Elamites all over their burgeoning empire. That prophecy, those elements of it in Jeremiah 49 regarding Elam, all came to pass. And per the Babylonian record and other historical and archaeological evidence tells us that Nebuchadnezzar did destroy the Elamite kingdom and fulfill that prophecy against Elam. The Elamite nation was never a great power again. Pertaining to the verse in question, that in the latter days in Jeremiah 49, Elam will be blessed and a type of prosperity brought to it. Ultimately, that's referring to the return of the Lord, the Messiah Jesus, where the nations of the world will be blessed at his return. Also, quite possibly, it may reflect upon a time of refreshing coming to greater Iran today. It's possible, although I believe that should be viewed as a minority point to consider as we do pray for freedom and restoration to the Iranian people, and yet also with heartfelt conviction, don't wish death upon anyone who does not know the Lord Jesus Christ. Per the throne that God talks about, his throne being set in Elam, and possibly referring to God using that as a reference to watching over it for the judgment he's bringing against it. In Jeremiah 43, we see God tell Jeremiah that Nebuchadnezzar once again is going to set his throne on the footsteps of Egypt, of Pharaoh's capital in Egypt, as his judgment is brought about by conquering Egypt through the Babylonian king. That once again is a reference to the authority that Nebuchadnezzar brought to Egypt when he conquered it. And yet, Nebuchadnezzar's home throne obviously was Babylon, not in Egypt. When we look at the many references of where God's throne is when he returns, it's clearly Mount Zion, it's clearly Jerusalem. So, very likely or strong possibility, the throne sitting in Elam that God says he is going to perform is to watch over the judgment of that nation state over 2,500 years ago. Let's continue to keep all these things in our prayers. And as I send out this message, nothing is conclusive about what's going to come from these Israeli and U.S. airstrikes upon Iran right now. Pray for the underground church that has exploded in Iran. And we do not even know if the IRGC will be dethroned from power. What we do know is if, at bare minimum, either a strong military contingent from Iran or the nation itself will join Gog's invasion of Israel to come, per Ezekiel 38:5, Persia, Iran, being a part of that invasion to come. And what Ezekiel 38 and 39 is describing from Gog, this leader of Meshach and Tubal, that's a current or future leader of Turkey today, is an alliance to invade Israel that is the same entity as the beast of Revelation 13. Keep all these things in your prayer, and let us watch carefully what occurs in Iran and look to be a vessel of God's mercy in these last days to all who would come to Christ. God bless you.